broke out the box and I bounced out shining. Keep it going, baby, don't stop, keep climbing. Basi gon' take it to the top on time, and I bet I'm gon' create till I'm dead on. Can you two-step, baby, don't talk to me, what when you, ooh, yeah, baby, give it up to me. Who's that? Tell me what's your name, what's your sign, honey. Looking real brown skin like my mahogany. Two-step, baby, don't to me.
I'm Basi Davis, my artist name is Basi. I'm a musician, artist, rapper, singer a little bit, graphic designer, fashion designer, artist. We are at the Reef Studios, downtown Oakland. I'm working on a project with my guy Andrew Bareford, who manages the studios here. And yeah, I'm just trying to finalize the project. I'm moving to New York in a month, so trying to get this project done before I leave so that I can get this shit ready to drop. Yeah.
So you're from Oakland, you went to school in Wisconsin. I know you are constantly traveling, moving around, performing in different places.
Yep.
Do you feel like one specific place influenced your sound, or did, you know, these different places that you've traveled to have an impact as well?
Definitely super Oakland influence, but at the same time, my dad is from the East Coast. Like my family is not from the Bay Area. My granddad is from Panama. My dad he grew up in Ithaca, New York. My mom grew up in San Diego. You know what I mean? They made at Cal, and then we grew up here. So yeah, just a variety of sounds and influences and stuff. My dad used to rap in the 90s, and his stuff was like very like, you know, classic hip hop, like East Coast kind of sounding, even though he was on the West Coast. And so yeah, that's a heavy influence. And then when I went to school in, like I said, Wisconsin, which is like, my school was 3 hours away from Chicago, so we were listening to a lot of like early Chance the Rapper, Saba, Mick Jenkins, like there's a group called Hurt Everybody out there. It's like hella just like Chicago artists back in like, 2014 and 15, 16. So that was kind of when I was first starting to make music. So that also has a big influence, like the Midwest. So I would say, yeah, it's like East Coast, Midwest, and West Coast. Like it's damn near all, but it's West Coast stuff. West Coast, Bay Area, East Oakland, you know, that's what it is.
So I know that you work with a lot of different community organizations, from Youth Speaks to Kingmakers of Oakland, helping other youth find their voice. What's the inspiration behind that? What drives you to do stuff like that? And then do you think that there is an intersection behind your music and the work that you do through education?
Yeah, I think, I mean, my whole family's educators. So like my granddad, he was like a professor at Cornell in Ithaca, New York, when my dad was living, my family was living up there. And then my grandma was like a grade school teacher. She was my principal when I was in elementary school. And then my dad, he was teaching at Berkeley High when I was young. And then, you know what I mean, this is an educator as well. So it's just, you know what I mean? It's like, that's what the family business is. And so I just grew up around that, and just knowing the importance of having mentorship and, you know what I mean, having a community, even with Youth Speaks, being able to have a group of people who are artists who are like pushing you to be better, you know what I mean? Like the homies we would all write poems together. We would all be like trying to be in the same poetry slam, trying to make the same team or whatever, like literally trying to hone our crafts. And that was something that I really like, is like appreciating building other people up, but like, you know what I mean, healthy competition, but also like productive and community creativity, you know what I mean? Like just creating together, like in that space, and growing together in that space. So that was super dope. And so that's really what I like to do when I work with young people now, is just trying to, you know, give them mentorship, give them guidance, give them support. And even if it's not necessarily a creative base, that is my lens and my focus. So just trying to make sure they understand the full scope of like what it means to be yourself, you know what I mean, when you show up as yourself, and you know what I mean, but also have diligence and intention and all that other stuff. So it's dope. I really love to do it. I'm not necessarily going to be doing it too much longer, because I like the design stuff and music stuff, but it definitely has a place in my heart for sure. I got here students and homies who were students and all of that, so it's really love to do it for sure.
So what is next for Basi? You know, you're working on a project right now. What can we expect in the next
Yeah, I mean, I just dropped a project called Supernova that came out with Migos, The God, a couple months ago in May. So just pushing that right now. I have a bunch of music, like me and Bear are working on this project. This will probably come like top of next year. But we have like some other stuff that'll come before that, and then I got some stuff with Drew. I got more stuff with Migos. So yeah, just more music and more art and more consistency. That's my main thing. Is like trying to be consistent with it, because I was dropping like once a year, or like, you know what I mean, 5 to 20 songs a year. Now I'm trying to drop like 30 to 40 this year. So, and then, you know, so I was halfway through the year. So, and I've already dropped 20 or something.
You putting more stuff out, more visuals.
Yeah, I just want to be more consistent and just show people what I like to do. Like a lot of the time I get caught up with doing it for myself, and I forget, like, oh yeah, I could share this with people and they like it too, you know what I mean? And I could actually monetize this in some way. So just trying to get better at that part, the outward facing part, because I feel like I've spent a lot of time just making the music for myself, you know what I mean? So yeah, but that's what's next. And then moving to New York, so I'm be on the East Coast next month, and yeah, beyond for foreseeable future.
Well, thank you so much for being here with us today. I know it's hot, but I appreciate you for sharing your story with us, a little bit about your art and the process. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, shout out to the Reef Studios. That's where we at right now, being able to film this spot. If you're an artist, a producer, musician, anybody, videographers, like, come to the Reef. Definitely get what you pay for and more. And then yeah, shout out to the town, shout out to my mama, shout out to the fam. Gang, gang, gang. Shout out to Jenay. Hey, and Kelly Palace Studios. Let's go.
Over now.